If you've been thinking about creating a digital product with AI but aren't sure where to begin, you're in the right place. In this video, I'll show you how I use Claude AI to take an idea, turn it into a product, set up a payment system, automate delivery, and start selling it online. The product I'll be using as an example is Kenya Travel Planner called Kenya Travel Made Simple. I created it with Claude AI, designed it in Canva Pro, sell it through Payhip, and market it on Pinterest. Together, those tools form a simple workflow that anyone can follow, even if you've never built a digital product before. When I first looked into selling digital products, I wasn't struggling with the idea itself, I was struggling with where to start. There were plenty of videos explaining individual tools, but very few not connected everything into one practical process. I wanted to see how someone went from an idea to a product that people could actually buy. So that's what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through the same process I followed, explaining why I made certain decisions and show you how each tool fits into the bigger picture. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap that you can adapt to your own niche, whether you're creating a guide, an ebook, a planner, a template, and if you'd like to build alongside with me, I've also included a free AI business system blueprint in the description. You can download it before we begin and use it as a reference while we go through each step. So part 1 is choosing the right digital product. Every successful digital product starts with a problem that people are already trying to solve. So before we even open Claude AI or start designing anything, ask yourself one question. What do people regularly come to me for help with? The answer doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a skill you've developed through work, hobby you've spent years learning, or knowledge you've gained from personal experience. The key is to choose something you understand well enough to make someone else's life easier. For me, that topic was Kenya travel. I have seen and learned the things that first-time visitors to Kenya usually struggle with. For example, planning a safari, choosing where to stay, getting around the country, knowing what to pack, and avoiding common mistakes that can turn your exciting trip into a stressful one. I realized I was answering the same question over and over. So instead of repeating myself every time, I decided to turn that knowledge into a digital product. It covers visas, safari planning, accommodation, transportation, packing lists, travel tips, and sample itineraries, giving someone a single resource they can use to plan their trip with confidence. The lesson here isn't that you should create a travel guide. The lesson is that your best product is often built around your knowledge you already have. Before moving on, make sure you can answer these 3 questions. Who is your product for? What problem does it solve? And why are you the right person to teach or solve that problem? Once those answers are clear, creating the content becomes much easier because every decision you make is guided by the person you're trying to help. Part 2 is building the product with Claude AI. With my idea clear, it was finally time to open Claude. One mistake I see people make is treating AI like a search engine. They'll type a short prompt, get a generic answer, and then wonder why the results aren't very good. Instead, I approached Claude AI like a teammate. Before asking it to write anything, I explained what I was building, who it was for, and what I wanted the final product to achieve. Giving Claude that content made a huge difference because it wasn't guessing anymore. It understood the project from the start. The first thing I asked Claude to do wasn't to write the guide, it was to help me organize it. Together, we mapped out the chapters and decided what information should go into each section. The outline covered everything a first-time visitor would need, including visa requirements, safari planning, accommodation, transportation, safety, packing lists, and sample itineraries for different trip lengths. Once the structure was in place, building the guide became much easier. I walked through each section one at a time, sharing what I already knew from my own experience and letting Claude turn those ideas into clear, well-organized content. Instead of starting at a blank page, I was refining and expanding the information that was already familiar to me. One tip I'd recommend is keeping everything in the same conversation. That way, Claude remembers the context of the project, making it easier to maintain a consistent writing style and avoid repeating information across different sections. By the time we finished, I had a polished travel guide that was very easy to read, well organized, and designed for the people I wanted to help, and that's something worth remembering. Claude didn't replace my knowledge, it helped me organize it, improve it, and present it in a way that was far more useful for my audience. Part 3 is designing the product with Canva Pro. With the content finished, it was time to turn it into something people would actually enjoy using. A well-designed product is easier to read, looks more professional, and gives buyers confidence that they've made the right purchase. That's why I moved everything into Canva Pro. I chose the Pro version because it gave me access to a much larger library of premium photos, graphics, fonts, and templates, making it easier to create a polished final product. And since my guide is all about Kenya, I wanted the design to reflect the experience people were hoping to have. I used high-quality images of wildlife safaris, the coastline, the beautiful landscapes to bring each section to life instead of looking like a plain document. It now felt like something that people would enjoy reading. I also used my brand colors throughout the guide to keep everything consistent. Using Canva's document editor, I organized the content into clear sections with chapter headings, tables, checklists, and itinerary layouts that were very easy to follow. Rather than presenting large blocks of text, I focused on making the information easy to scan so that readers could quickly find what they needed while planning their trip. Once everything looked the way I wanted, I exported the guide as a PDF. It's a simple format that works on almost any device, whether someone wants to read it on their phone, tablet, or laptop, and they can even print it if they want to. That's really what Canva added to the process. Claude helped me create the content, but Canva transformed that content into a product that looked polished. Part 4 is building the sales page with Claude AI. Now with the guide finished, the next challenge was getting people to buy it. A lot of creators spend weeks building a great product, but only a few minutes writing the sales page. The truth is, a sales page isn't just there to describe your product. Its job is to help someone quickly understand why it's worth buying. So once again, I turned to Claude AI. Before asking it to write anything, I explained who the guide was for and what that person was trying to achieve. In my case, it was someone planning their first trip to Kenya who wanted reliable information without spending hours jumping between different websites. And with that in mind, Claude helped me build a simple HTML sales page that followed a logical flow. It started with a clear headline explaining what the guide offered and who it was for. From there, it introduced the guide, highlighted its main features, answered common questions, and finished with a straightforward call to action inviting visitors to buy. By the time I finished, I had a clean, mobile-friendly sales page that actually explained the value of the guide, and at that point, there was only one thing left to do: connect it to a checkout so that people could actually make a purchase. So part 5, connecting to Payhip, from sales page to live checkout. With the sales page complete, the next step was integrating payments, the point where a product becomes commercially functional. I used Payhip because it's built for digital products, handles global VAT automatically, and manages secure payment processing without any technical setup. I created the product inside Payhip, uploaded the PDF, set the price, added the description, and designed a cover image in Canva Pro. Payhip takes care of file delivery, so once a customer pays, they immediately receive the download link automatically. The checkout opens as an overlay, allowing customers to complete payment without leaving the page. I connected my bank account to enable automatic payouts. Finally, I tested the full flow end-to-end, from clicking the buy button to completing checkout and receiving the download email. Everything worked smoothly, confirming the system was ready for real customers. Part 6, marketing on Pinterest. Now with the product live and the checkout system running, the final focus was distribution. That is, getting the right audience to the sales page. I chose Pinterest as the main traffic source for Kenya Travel Made Simple. Pinterest functions more like a search engine. Users arrive with intent, looking for travel plans, packing lists, itineraries, and destination research. That makes it especially effective for travel-focused digital products, where buyers are already in planning mode. My approach is built around Pinterest SEO and consistent content publishing. I design pins in Canva Pro using Kenya travel imagery and brand colors with simple, clear messaging that reflects what people are actively searching for. Descriptions are optimized around real search terms such as Kenya Safari Guide, what to pack for Kenya Safari, best time to visit Kenya. This creates a steady stream of highly relevant visitors, people already planning a trip and actively searching for information, arriving directly on the sales page and entering the purchase flow through Payhip. So now to conclude, you don't need to be a developer, you don't need a design background, and you don't need months of preparation or a large budget. You need a clear idea, the right tools, and the willingness to go through the process one step at a time. Click the link in the description and grab the free AI Business System Blueprint. It has everything you need to build your first digital product and get it in front of the right audience. Start with what you know, build with Claude, design it with Canva, and sell it through Payhip. Thank you so much for watching, and if this video gave you value, please subscribe and hit that like button. It helps more people find this content and start building their own digital products. I will see you in the next one.